Good afternoon, and welcome to a very exciting tour this afternoon of the Los Trompis campus. My name is Sandra Cockrell, and of course, as many of you know me, I am the Director of Philanthropy at Los Trompis. This afternoon, we have a very exciting tour. We want to highlight all of the changes that have taken place in the last 4 weeks, but also I have a very special co-host this afternoon and guest as we talk about all of the programs and services this new campus is going to afford to us. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into a couple of our housekeeping items so we can get started. As I've shared with you in the past, we do record our virtual tours, so you're able to share these with your family and friends. Of course, at the end of the tour, there is a very brief survey. We certainly appreciate your feedback each month on the survey. Also, this afternoon, I will send out a link of the recording, and you'll be able to forward that link as well to friends and family that you might want to show the tour to. You can also view any of our past tours by going to the Los Trompis website at www.lostrompis.org. And if you go to the Reach Beyond campaign page, you will see not only registration for our next tour, but also the recordings of our previous tour. So please use that as a great resource to learn about the changes at Los Trompis. As I mentioned, I have a very special guest host this afternoon. His name is Joe Cashel, and Joe is our director of our adult residential model, as well as our interim director of our adult day program. Joe, if you can join us and take the tour from there, that would be great.
Hello, thank you, Sandra. Really appreciate the introduction. I'm here in the lobby. You can see it behind me. I'm really excited to be joined in the tour today. It's been a while since I've been able to come out here, and I appreciate everybody coming out and spending a few minutes with us so we can update you on our progress. So you can actually see on the slide here the progress that was done not too long ago, but since then you can kind of see that a lot more progress has been made. All the drywall is up through this area, and I don't know if you've been to the old Los Trompis campus or not, but this is far and wide beyond what our entryway was at the other location. In fact, it was like a 5 by 5 foot square at the other location, and I remember some of the first time I walked into that space, it was very off-putting. I wondered at first if I even wanted to work at Los Trompis. So having this entryway is just so much more welcoming, not only for our participants and staff, but for the greater community, in general. You can see some progress that's been made on the stairs here. And the stairs are just really great and functional. They're nice and wide for us to be able to support people that need a little bit of extra help on steps. And then those people who really, have a hard time navigating stairs at all, or who use a wheelchair to get around, we have a couple elevators for those guys. So we're really excited about the, the levels of independence that we'll be able to kind of foster here. I think we could probably go to the next slide. So you can see some of the furniture here that we plan to put in our entryway. And these will line right up along this wall here. And Dan and I spent a long time working with the company Sam Clare to figure out our furniture. It was actually really fun for both of us, and it got us out of the office a few days. So it was really fun trying to figure out what colors we wanted to bring in and what kind of life we could add to our facility. All right. I think we can go to the next one. So yeah, this is room 111, one of the classrooms. As you kind of saw, all the drywall's up, and even the first kind of base coat is up in most places, and that's kind of what they're working on today. In this classroom, you can see that on the bottom is a different type of drywall, and this is a drywall that is impact resistant and will help us kind of keep things looking really good You know, we deal with a lot of potential, you know, damage, and wheelchairs can be really rough on a space. So this will help keep the space looking really good for a long time, hopefully. You can see here, I'm kind of backtracking a little bit, but you can see here some of the colors that is going to be in the space. We wanted to pick really vibrant and bright things that were going to liven up the space and not make it look like, you know, just another office building. So some of these colors are going to be on the outside, others are going to be on the inside, and we're really excited about what it's going to look like when that all comes together. Thank you. So this is one of the classrooms, and you can see that, you know, this is again some renderings of the furniture that we're going to get. We have a teacher's desk in there with chair, and the student's desk as well, participant desks. I'm actually walking over to a classroom now to kind of show you a bigger picture of our classroom. Oh, sorry. So again, what we really love about these are these giant windows that really let in a lot of light. I mean, these have plastic on them right now, and they're already allowing so much more light than we had in any of other spaces at the other facilities. So again, like with all the colors and this, you know, this light that's in here, we just are really looking forward to having like a bright, inviting, welcoming space for people. I think we go to the next slide. So here's some more renderings, some additional furniture. So we have, again, a lot of colors incorporated, very similar colors that are going to be from the outside and the inside incorporated in the furniture that we're going to have, not to mention the artwork and all the little extra details that we're going to add when the main facility is built. You can also see in this picture our multi-purpose room where we'll have a lot of get-togethers and gatherings. This is actually right off the kitchen too, our ADA kitchen. So there'll be, you know, meals and events held out of this room very often. I think we can go to the next slide. All right, so this picture is on the left. You can see one of the staff offices and one of the supervisor offices for day program. And you can notice how they are right off of the classroom. So the supervisors have a great view of the classroom. They're right there if any help is needed along the way. And you know, we just love the furniture that we ended up picking out. It's going to really kind of class up the joint, if you will. On the right-hand side, you can see one of the quiet rooms. In this room is really designed for when somebody's having a difficult moment and they just need some time away from, you know, all the hustle and bustle of their day. So we got some really cool furniture in here. You know, we have that little puff there that's just kind of like a little side stand. The patterned chair there is like a big beanbag chair. So it's, you know, very sensory, very comforting, very relaxed kind of area. The other kind of couch chair there is kind of a modular, unique kind of system. Sorry. And with this, we're going to be able to, we can really move it wherever. They can sit on top of it, on the middle of it, they can lean up the side of it. So again, it just adds kind of an extra layer of comfort and hopefully relaxation for the people that are having those difficult moments. I think we can go to the next slide. Yes, this is the a photo of the upper parking lot, which is essentially, you know, pretty much done at this point. Just some finishing touches need to be applied. We actually had the maintenance building, an old building on this in this area, way up top, the very top of our property, elevation-wise. And now this is going to be staff parking, and that's going to be really helpful for kind of clearing out the space where we used to park, allowing for way more visitors, for more staff, which we're going to need as we grow. So having this extra parking is just going to be really conducive to streamlining everything and making sure we have enough for everybody that's going to be here. We go to the next one. Yes, so we have Kate Hartline on the line. Kate, can you join us, please? Coming on now. Now, Kate, thank you for joining us today. Kate is our day, sorry. Kate is our day program supervisor. here at Las Trampas, and she's been with the company for ages now. Uh, really, really critical staff in our day program. I've only been a part of the day program for a little less than a year now, and without Kate's help, I'd really have a hard time running the department. So, Kate, thanks for joining us today. I just wanted to ask you a few questions. I know it's been a while since you've been here and seen some of the progress being made. Can you kind of let me know what's different about, different now than when you last visited?
So it's a pleasure to be here, first of all. The last time I visited here, it was right after they tore down the old facility, and all I saw was them breaking ground. So visually, coming on campus today was completely amazing to me. I've seen the renderings, I've seen the pictures of the progress throughout all of the tours, but until you actually visualize it by standing in a room and seeing the light in the classrooms that you were just in, the kitchen, the level of the counters and things. Yeah, it's amazing. And I'm really looking forward to opening.
Me too, for sure. Speaking of being excited, what are you most excited about in this new facility? What's really speaking to you or getting you, pumped about serving participants in this setting?
So actually there's several things. One of them is where I'm standing right now. You can see the landscape, the scenery. One of the things I love most about this property, the campus itself, is the surrounding area. We're tucked back in a space that's very serene and beautiful, and typically there's a creek that runs behind us. Hopefully some rain will come soon and again. But internally, the capacity to grow and to welcome members of the community in, that's what I'm most looking forward to.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of things to be excited about in this on this new site. I know from working with you that we have a lot in mind for the future of this, program here at the new site, especially. Can you kind of tell the audience a little bit about some of the changes that we're going to be making in regards to our programming when we move to the new facility?
Yeah, actually, I think the one of the main things that's going to help us is the building is all in one building now. The old campus was an open campus. It was designed kind of like an elementary school. So when you were going from one class to another, you actually had to go out of a classroom into the weather, the inclement weather. And there were overhangs, but there was always rain and such coming at us. So having everything under one roof is going to be amazing. But also the classrooms are designed to actually teach. The classrooms previously were not set up in a way that was conducive to what we were doing. So from the colors, the lighting, everything has kept in mind who we work with. And I think this is going to be so much more conducive to the environment that will help them flourish.
Certainly. One of the big changes that we're going to have here is, and we've always had a kitchen, right? And we've used that kitchen for different programs, but this kitchen that we're building here is not only going to serve the same functions, but it's also going to be ADA compliant. So we're going to actually be able to have more people in the kitchen. Other than that, how do you see, the changes to that kitchen affecting, our life skills courses around cooking and using a kitchen?
Oh, well, it's set up as a teaching kitchen. The old kitchen was kind of like a big restaurant style kitchen. It was designed with counters that weren't ADA accessible, so that folks who wanted to dice something or stir something couldn't actually even reach the bowl to stir the cookie dough or whatever we happen to be making. But this is set up in a way that's going to allow accessibility to everyone. Anyone who wants to learn will be able to participate in a cooking class. So
yeah, and that's really exciting.
Yeah, and I was just going to say they're working in there right now. I wanted to be in there to actually show a little bit of the progress in there, but
actually, I've actually made my way down while you were talking there.
Oh,
hence
cool.
my video being off for a moment. So this is actually, they're actually working on it currently. So if you're hearing some noise, I apologize. But yeah, you can kind of see the layout here with cabinets all around. a few kind of jutting out counters that will help people get their wheelchairs underneath. You can see in the corner over there how there's no cabinets underneath in a lot of the spaces, so wheelchairs can go up underneath them. And all the all the counters are a little bit lower than kind of standard height as well to accommodate that ADA compliance. So yeah, very exciting that we'll have that and be able to be more inclusive around those types of classes and coaching opportunities. Another great improvement is, we talked earlier about the lobby being more welcoming and inviting, and really just the whole space being welcoming and inviting. And one of the pushes behind that is to involve the community more. We have spaces even dedicated to the community. So Kate, can you kind of explain to everybody, what the importance of that is? Why is community integration so important for the people that we serve?
Well, several reasons. One, first, the community of Lafayette's been very welcoming to us throughout the years already. But bringing folks together does just that. It brings folks together. It breaks barriers. It breaks down walls. And it offers everyone an opportunity to be a part of the community. And it doesn't segregate us from others. It brings us together. So I look forward to that.
What are some ways you see, like some examples of ways that we might bring the community into this new space?
Well, actually, now speaking of the teaching kitchen, there's so many opportunities to incorporate some sort of meal service or snack service or something, inviting folks to come and join us for a meal that we've prepared, or some muffins and coffee day, and something like that. So the possibilities are endless, honestly.
They really are. And what's cool about that space too is that it's right off of that big multi-purpose room with those round tables that we saw earlier. It's right near an entrance exit as well. So we'll be able to have little events that are kind of just housed in that one particular area. So, it really will help with, I think, with our community integration, being able to bring more people into our space on top of us, going more into the community and out into the community space. Well, Kate, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I know you're a busy lady.
Of course.
Is there any final thoughts, anything you want to mention before we wrap it up for the day?
I just can't wait for the very first day back on campus to see the faces of everyone as they walk through the door to their new program. So
yeah, our participants are super duper excited about coming back. They talk about it every single day. They're wondering when it's going to open. So we're excited that, we're only a few months out now, and that like we showed you, things are really coming together. Walls are up, doors are starting to get in, windows are in. It's really starting to look like a building now, of like a real facility instead of just a construction project. So
yes.
Very exciting stage right now. And as the next couple of months come up, you're only going to see like much more progress being done. I feel like we've kind of turned a corner in the construction phase here. So very exciting stuff. Thank you so much, Kate.
Of course.
I think that wraps it up for us. So Sandra, I'll shoot it back to you. Thanks so much.
Well, Joe, thank you very much. Such exciting information that you and Kate have been able to share regarding our programs and how we're going to be able to use this new building. Not that long ago, we had over $650,000 left to raise. And today, I'm really thrilled to say we are now at the $280,000 mark. In the last 2 weeks, we actually received an anonymous donation of $20,000 to the capital campaign. If that donor is on our virtual tour today, we want to say thank you very much for that. We are so fortunate at Las Trampas. Kate mentioned how fortunate we are to be in the community that we are in, and certainly that is true also from a fundraising standpoint. The community has come together and done such a great job in helping make this a reality. And throughout, the community, knowing within Contra Costa County, we're going to be able to serve 70% more individuals through this new building. What a relief for those individuals on the wait list. What a relief for their families. So thank you very, very much for that. And Angie, if we can see the next slide, which is our rendering of the building, we do like to show this each time. It is so important to share with the community what this end result is going to look like. Although I will say, Joe, running around the building, you did a great job today showing us what the inside's going to look like and how far we've actually come with everything. The one piece I do want to point out is that beautiful canopy there. As Kate mentioned, on our old campus, there were many days where individuals would be in the inclement weather or we'd get wet running in and out. And our buses, as Dan has mentioned many times, making 5 to 7 point turns, trying to drop off our participants. Very shortly, that is going to be just a memory. We have this beautiful facility with this beautiful canopy. And so the buses can drop off and pick up our individuals. They will be out of the weather. Families will have more space to drop off their loved ones or to even come in the building and escort their loved ones to the classes. One of the particular elements, though, I do want to point out is actually under this canopy. And if we could jump to the next slide, Angie, we are inviting everybody to join us in having a personalized engraved paver under our canopy. As you can see the walkway there, this is the main entrance into Los Trompis, and I can't think of anything more welcoming than for the participants and their families and all of our guests to see your personalized message on an engraved paver. So with that said, if you are interested in having a paver, please feel free to reach out to myself at 925-310-2362, and I'll be more than happy to provide the information you need for that, or absolutely reach out on our website. Again, that is www.lostrampas.org. And we would love to see your personalized paver under that canopy. At this time, Joe, I'm going to ask you and Kate to join me. Again, if you will, we've had some questions come in, and we have a few minutes where we can answer those questions. One of the questions that has been asked is, what are our participants currently doing for their classes? And I know we have had a lot of opportunity for our virtual classes, but I know we've also been able to do some limited in-person. Maybe you could talk to that a little bit.
Yeah, so before I get into that, I just kind of wanted to point out I'm at the second floor, and you can kind of see that awning that Sandra was just talking about. That's the top of it there. Nice big area for people to be dropped off at. But in reference to your question, we have been still offering services throughout the pandemic, obviously modified services. We weren't in-person programming, shortly after the pandemic started until June. For just over a year, we were only doing virtual services. So through Zooms, several Zoom classes throughout each day, Monday through Friday, individual calls, and we would send packets home for kind of independent work for individuals. So that's mainly how we were providing alternative services. Like I mentioned, in June, we started offering partial in-person services again to make sure that we were able to social distance and keep everybody safe. We could only have a certain number of people on campus at a time. So we have about 2/3 of our participants who have opted into that in-person service program. And they, one group, about half of those people attend on Monday, Wednesdays, the other half on Tuesday, Thursdays. And they're able to participate in our Zoom classes with us on site. And, we pepper in some other, other things as well throughout the day when they're on site. While they're home, though, on the days that they're not at program, and for those people who opted out of in-person services, we're still operating those Zoom classes, still sending those at-home work booklets for people, and still checking in with people via email and phone calls and that kind of thing. One of the opportunities that we have because of this alternative services is what the kind of lingo is in the industry, is that it's been really beneficial for certain people, and because of that, we have the state and our other governing bodies considering incorporating these alternative services into future programming. So we're really excited about that opportunity, and we've had a lot of our participants, express interest in that. So we're really looking forward to seeing how we can incorporate some of those alternative services into our future programming, assuming that our stakeholders, our governing bodies, approve it and make it a formal type of service. We're still providing services, albeit much differently than usual. We are looking forward very much to getting back to normal and maybe being able to incorporate some of those alternative services into that new normal.
So one of the other questions that I had, Joe, that's been posed, and maybe you or Kate can answer this, in those virtual classes that we have each day, how are the participants responding to that? What has been the feeling with those?
Maybe I could speak. Yeah, I was just going to say I could probably speak to that. Actually, they've been super beneficial on many levels. Some folks who opted not to come back yet are benefiting because they're vulnerable and their health doesn't allow for them to be here right now, which gives them the opportunity to stay connected to us, to continue to have that social outlet and the learning opportunities available to them. The feedback we've gotten from folks who attend Zoom classes has been amazing, and it's actually grown over the last year. Attendance was running maybe 8 to 12 participants in the early days, and it started slowly climbing up. Even now that we've come to partial in-person services, the attendance numbers are really high. Some of the classes are at 22 now, and this is while some of the participants are actually on campus. So the engagement and the participation has increased dramatically. It's an opportunity for folks who may not do well in a large group setting to actually participate in a large group setting, because they have the separation, because they're logging in through a system. They're not in a classroom full of people with a lot of loud noises, a lot of stimuli that might be overwhelming for them. So it offers an opportunity to so many folks that I'd love to see it continue, even after things go back to whatever everyone considers normal.
Thank you, Kate. Well, certainly that is a huge pivot that we made in the fairly early days of COVID, and it's so nice to hear that it's really paying dividends for the individuals that we serve. One of the other questions that we have is, when will the new campus open? Now, I know, Joe, you had a great time running around looking at furniture and picking out those fabulous pieces for us. Would you like to talk about when we anticipate the campus opening?
Yeah, so last I've heard, we're shooting for like mid-January. So that is the latest update that we've gotten. One thing that's been kind of rough on us throughout this whole process is the pandemic and the supply issues that have come with that, really across the board, in every industry. It is affecting our construction here, so there has been a few delays and whatnot. We're pushing through, we're struggling through it, and we're making it happen. It's just taken a little longer than we initially hoped. But hopefully we can keep that mid-January start date, so we're able to kind of, bring participants back here. Even if we're still only doing, alternative services or partial in-person services, at least we can be here doing it at that time. But we'll see how things go. Things can change a lot in those few months. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. And I can say, Joe, from the perspective, my perspective, we keep moving our grand opening date. It seems like every time there's a new deadline coming up. But we are certainly very excited that we are getting this much closer to it, and that hopefully we'll be able to have that grand opening very shortly after the building is completed. I think that is all the questions we've had today. I do want to thank Joe Cashel and Kate Hartline for being our guests this afternoon. Not only do we want to provide for you a great perspective and a great view of what has changed on campus, but I also feel like it is so important to talk about those programs and how those programs will impact the individuals that we serve. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us today. We hope you have enjoyed our tour. We will be having another one next month, and we'll see all those big changes coming then. With that said, thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.
Thanks so much.